became a novelist because when I was writing poetry, they told me you could never get them published. Now that I have novels, they tell me it's easier to get poetry published. That's my recent book. Anyway, I've been writing poetry for a long time. I've got to admit that the poem that won the competition is one of my recent ones. I think my recent ones are better. That's just me. But my first poetry contest I ever entered was in 2006, the Robert Frost Poetry Award. So thank you very much. Made me realize that maybe somebody else might want to read my poetry. And thank you. First, I won't read mine first. I should come first. Robert Frost comes first. This is a poem entitled The Falls. 'Tis a steep wood of rocks with fern grown everywhere, but with no birds, not a wing. And the falls come down there. Even an Indian trail would swerve a haunt so fair. One used to, there where the ferns and the falls come down there. It's from the chapbook of 1894 for Eleanor. This is my poem. I spit in the river like a boy, but nobody saw me. I made sure of that. I was dry after running across the field with lungs heaving and mouth powdery. It was like that, and I stopped on the bridge to quench my thirst by staring at the water. So I spit. It was white and chalky, swirling in black water till it caught the current and was lost in the foam over rocks and broken twigs. I watched beyond what I saw, and no one else saw or spoke except a catbird on the railing.
I don't want to let you go so quick. Would you say a bit more about what you wrote to me about the influence of your high school teacher, and just tell a few stories about the poem, because I think the poem has every poem has an interesting genesis, but this one in particular.
Is this the one I just read?
Yes.
I spit in the river. That's what says it all. I live in the Cleveland area now. We live on the north coast. People call it Lake Erie. We think of it as an inland sea. And we have gales like today. And I have poems about these Ansel Adams days that are 256 shades of gray. But poetry is, in Cleveland, the poets are a little edgier than I am. I go to these poetry readings and they go, that's nice. Because I read Robert Frost. I read him as a young man. One of my college professors, his name was Charles Cook, Jr. He went to Boston College then and was a Frost scholar. And he really was a quite amazing man. We did a lot of contemporary poets, but Frost was always my favorite. And I remember taking poetry into his office and reading it to him, and he was very nice. He said, well, I don't quite understand, that's fine. And he was very nice. And again, I've had poetry in my heart for a long time. I'm of the school where it says it's somehow emotion, spontaneous overflow of emotion, you know, the line recollected in tranquility, and I think what Frost brings is insight along with tranquility. He's made his peace with nature, or with the elements, or with the simplest things of life, and find in them, I think, the right questions. When I was in high school, we did the chorus thing with two roads diverged in the yellow wood, and you know, I bought into that. Yeah, when I get old,